Hi, this is Jonathan Rosenhead, a Jerusalem psychotherapist. This week's Torah and Psychology post for Shabbos Chol Hamoed Pesach and the war in Israel is going to discuss the psychological mechanisms behind Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim. Now we have a mitzvah on Leil Seder to discuss the miracles that Hashem performed. As the Rambam says, Leil Seder is dedicated to discussing the Nisim and the Niflaot that the Kodesh Baruch Hu performed for bringing us out of Mitzrayim. But it's interesting that the Rambam says that in the sense of this Zocha of Yetzias Mitzrayim relates to the Zocha of Yom HaShabbos. And it seems a little bit ambiguous. What is this connection, this comparison between the Zocha of Yetzias Mitzrayim and the Zocha of Shabbos? So Rav Soloveitchik suggests two possible explanations. One is that the Zocha is, in a linguistic way, is an imperative. We're being called into an action. We're being implored to be engaged in this Zocha of remembering Shabbos. What does this mean? So it means that there's an active implementation of Zocha, of remembering. How do we think and how do we direct our thoughts in an active way to being constantly thinking about Shabbos? And to not be distracted by what goes on during the week, or the weekly obligations, and therefore only come to the end of the week do we then think about Shabbos. But rather, Zocha is actually an active engagement throughout the week in being connected to Shabbos. So for example, each day of the week is actually a reminder or remembering that it's a stepping stone towards building up to Shabbos. This is the first day of the week, Hayom Yom Rishon B'Shabbat. It's not just Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Each day of the week is building up and remembering directing our thoughts towards Shabbos. Or if we have a nice object, we know that the Gemara teaches us if we have a nice object or something, we should think this is saved for Shabbos. Each day of the week, whenever you have something, you should be thinking how this is going to be something that you can use on Shabbos. So this is a cognitive exercise of directing our thoughts to be aware of Shabbos, to not be distracted by what goes on during the week. And so too with Yetzias Mitzrayim, we want to have a constant directing of our thoughts towards thinking about Yetzias Mitzrayim. And although during the year we do have the mitzvah we do have the tefillah of Kriyas Shema, where we mention Yetzias Mitzrayim, what often happens is that we are distracted. Our thoughts are distracted. We think about other things that go on during the day, during the week, during the year, and we don't necessarily give the right amount of directed thinking and thoughts towards Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim. So therefore we have Leil Seder, which is a mindfulness exercise, a night where we can really focus in a guided way, in a directed way, to create a greater flexibility in our thinking and to expand our thinking, to broaden our understanding and to broaden our view of our life, so that we're not just distracted or engaged in the day-to-day living, which will take away our focus and our attention towards Yetzias Mitzrayim. So we have this Leil Seder, which is a mindfulness exercise to be able to hopefully direct our thoughts, and perhaps as the year goes on, maybe we will have more kavanah every time we say Kriyas Shema, that we should always have this constant thought and thinking about Yetzias Mitzrayim. And this is the Zocha that Soloveitchik says it's a cognitive exercise. But as we know, based on CBT, it's not just about thoughts. You might begin with thoughts, that if we have greater flexibility and a more adaptive way of thinking, this can then have a knock-on effect on our emotions and on the way that we behave. And this is actually the second explanation of Soloveitchik, that the connection between Shabbos and Yetzias Mitzrayim is actually that it is a complete experience, that the thoughts actually comes into being expressed. There's an expression, a way of expressing our intention and our thoughts, and that this is then put into words. And in terms of Shabbos, this is put into words through Kiddush. When we come to Shabbos, the importance of sanctifying the day, of marking the day of Shabbos and creating the holiness and connecting with that holiness is not just in thought, but it then becomes expressed. We give words to that by the Kiddush that we recite, by the Kiddush and by the meal that we have, the Suda Shabbos. This is the complete experience of connecting with Shabbos, not just in thought, but in emotion and in action, and being able to give that an expression through words. And so too we see with Yetzias Mitzrayim. We know that we are supposed to connect with and engage with the experience of Yetzias Mitzrayim as if we are going through it now. It's not just a historical account or connecting with the thoughts or the memories, but rather it's something that we experience completely in our thoughts, on an emotion, both also on a cognitive level, on an emotional level, on a behavioral level. This is a complete experience of feeling as if we are now going through Yetzias Mitzrayim. And this is the expression that we give, that we're able to find words. This is the Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim, that we are able to find a way of actually expressing and putting into words this experience. This is the power on a psychological level, certainly on a therapeutic level, of being able to find the correct or the most appropriate words to be able to connect with the experience that we are having on a multifaceted level. And these are the two explanations. This is the connection between Shabbos and Yetzias Mitzrayim, and this is why it is able to have this profound effect, leading on and a connection with Yetzias Mitzrayim throughout the year. And hopefully this will create a true experience of Chayos, not just on Yetzias Mitzrayim, but also certainly at this time, it's more pertinent that we're able to connect with this feeling of Chayos, that hopefully there will be a complete Yeshua for the Bnei Yisrael on a national level, and certainly also on a personal level, that we hope and daven that those who are still in captivity will be freed very soon, and they will come out, and there will be a complete liberation, a complete Yeshua, and a Chayos for the whole of Bnei Yisrael. Have a great Shabbos and Chag Sameach. Keep well.